I'm going to read through page 5 to get us up to date with where we were. So the door opens without being touched is kind of the feeling on this page. So Sam's on the floor, utterly spent. The tools nearby. The nest is chaos. The plant is dead, and the door dominates. It's how we start in panel 1. Panel 2 is a beat of stillness, then a small sound from the door. In panel 3, Sam's eyes open, slow head turned upward. No hope, just reflex. In panel 4, the door is open a crack by itself. Inside is only blackness, negative space, no interior detail, no depth, nothing. Panel 5, Sam rises slowly and approaches like they just can't stop themselves. And panel 6, Sam stands in front of the crack and the blackness swallows the panel edge. And panel 7, at the end of the page, Sam steps through and we see them disappear, but we do not know what's inside. And then we'd added a panel 8, same shot as before, but the door is open and there's no Sam.
Okay, so I think I'm going to try to deviate quite a bit from that sequence of panels. It's not going to change anything, I think, too much, but maybe instead of, so we have Sam leaning on the floor there. You do see like we're going to show like the books kind of to the side there, disarrayed. There's going to be the paper all around Sam. There's going to be the plant's going to be dying. Then I'm thinking like you close in with Sam now um, on like a bus shot, and you can see the plant in the
Mhm.
foreground a bit. Maybe we can even close in a little bit more here, having like Sam, like, I don't know, doing something like, putting their fist in their
Yep.
face, just like spent and maybe even almost crying or something like that. And then we could always have like a really thin little click.
Yeah, I like that.
So just a little bit of a tonally different kind of, um, it's the same, we get to the same place,
Mhm.
but we're now, um, seeing it from a slightly different perspective. And the question really becomes, does it change the energy? Like, do we need the energy? Is like being in the fetal position in the previous one is also kind of, obviously that's like something like it just almost like regressing to, uh, I,
Mhm.
I, I want my mommy type thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm so uh, like in this state of uh being like spent and I just need
Mhm.
something to soothe me. Like what are your thoughts? Like do we
I kind of like I like where we're going with the updated ones because I do feel like the energy really quickly changes from the end of 4 to the beginning of 5, right? Where 4 is very, like, frenetic and banging and
Right.
screaming and pushing, and then 5 is, like, slumped, right? I really did like that panel before that was at the end of 4. I like starting 5 with it, of Sam slumped against the door. I don't know if we need the fetal position. I think that's implied. Like, I don't know if we have to be that overt with like fully fetal position versus just like that era of like given up, which is what 5B is doing for us now.
Well, so there is a compromise that I just thought of. You could always have Sam scooching their knees up to their chest,
Ooh, I like
right?
that. I like
So that
that.
and then we can have just the um so now I'm thinking, yeah, like they scooch their knees up, they're like kind of going like this, and then all of a sudden we maybe have like like we can see forward close up of the door, like the line where the door is kind of click. So
Mhm.
let's see though, the it would be the other side because of the where the door would open. So I'm gonna flip that real
Well, yeah,
quickly.
and if Sam's leaning against it too, then it's like they feel it, right? Like they've been like kind of banging and couldn't get into it, and now if they're leaning against it, and then the door almost pushes them forward a little bit when it just clicks open. Um, I think that could work really neat too.
Yeah, that's right. So there could be, I mean, so there is a world where we hear click. So would it be better to be in panel 3 where you hear the door open a bit and go click? Or do you think it's
Potentially.
okay, so then we don't necessarily need this panel. It
Yeah,
could
I
be
think it can actually just move into the one that you've already created. I think it works right there.
right? Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so now we're actually I like it. There's something to be said about economy of space. If
Mhm.
we have something where there's more panels previous and now all of a sudden we are let me just have a recent oh, I see one. So now we actually have a little bit more room to make these panels long.
Mhm.
Again, similar now that I see those like teeth or whatever we want to call them in
Yeah.
regards to, you know, uh the angles that they're going to be causing like a bit of like a distortion in the panel where it comes down a little bit,
Mhm.
right? Um and so we can now see the door is open. Maybe Sam is kind of like in the process of getting up,
Yeah.
and then the door is now like I actually I don't even think I think I can just copy and paste the
Yeah.
previous because
I
I don't know
agree.
anything that needs to be changed to that. As I've
No, that
said
worked
before,
so well.
what's that?
That worked so well of, like, just, like, having the darkness just, like, get bigger and bigger until it swallowed the entire, frame.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have those panels don't have to be like vertical exactly. They can
Mhm.
be slightly askew as I had done before. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about when something works, you don't necessarily I mean, you could always play around, but also at the end of the day, like, if something is working, you don't have to, you know, um, redraw it, just use it and save a bit of time.
Yeah, you don't
Uh,
need to make change just for change's sake, right? If it's working, it's working.
Yeah. So I think this is another case of a hybrid, right? So we've
Yeah.
taken panel from 4, we've the original page,
Mhm.
we have changed pretty much the first half of 5A, to move over the panel from the original 4A to, work like, pace it differently, and
Mhm.
then we've come up with, like, a nice little, sequence where Sam is still kind of huddled up, vulnerable, but, a little bit different
Yes.
vulnerability, and then all of a sudden click in that third panel, and then we kept the original 5A. So, yeah, I think this is a stronger page. I think that there's for sure really good. There's variety in the panels. I love that looking down at that panel one, and I love this the medium shot and then the close up shot, and then now we've also pulled away, and we're now in that sequence of Sam and the panel almost kind of enveloping each other.
Yeah, I really like starting with what was previously the end of 4 in that seeing that full shot of the door, right? Because we kinda haven't seen it for a little bit. So when you go to 5 and it's like it's in our face, it's huge, and Sam looks really small beside it, I think that's a great way to begin this page that progresses to Sam being gone and the door now being the only thing left. So,
Mhm. So, do you feel like this page is good, or would you want to do
yeah,
another
I do,
variation?
I like it.
Okay, so you don't think we need to try another variation? Like you feel
No,
pretty
I think it's actually taking a number of elements that we've changed and bringing it forward because we have changed the story quite a bit in terms of the visual look of it from where we started. And I do think it's upped the tension and the horror significantly. So yeah,
Hmm. Okay. So we're going to go on to 6A. So would you mind reading this page?
absolutely. Okay, so next we are going to go through 6, and then we're going to look at what those panels look like. So page 6 is our black panel reset with the new tenant. So we start on panel 1 with full black panel and silence. Panel 2, there's light. It's normal. Same apartment, daytime, the mess is gone, the room looks reset, and the door is closed. In panel 3, the new tenant enters carrying boxes. They're bright and excited, and they say, "It's perfect." Panel 4, as they move deeper into the room, they glance and notice the extra door. In panel 5, we're closer and their expression shifts. They're not terrified, they're just confused, and you get like a huh. And then in panel 6, they step toward it, mirroring Sam's page 1 motion. And then we end with the door present and patient.
So, yeah, one of the things that we did with the varied a bit from the script was we replicated the same scene, same panel from 1C or 1 to
Mhm.
6, where you're looking straight down. And then, yeah, like it's very mundane. The person is walking into the room with like a box or a plant or something and passing the door and then noticing the door in the panel 3 and then kind of going with panel 4 reaction to the door. And then panel 5 is going to be very similar to what we saw with panel 3 on
Mhm.
page 1 where Sam, like, rushes to the door. What is this, right?
Yeah. What is in
Uh,
there? Yeah. Mhm.
okay, so one of the things that I wanted to figure out, like, how we can transition from that 5, to 5's, like, last panel being in black, and we
Mhm.
came up with the idea of, like, this page where it's almost looks like it's the shape of a door, all the panels,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it works or if I'd like to know if it does work, like by drawing something different here. That's why we're doing
Yeah.
multiple panels. But do you have any ideas to how to transition?